Hey guys, I'm Rachel Castile. Welcome to Typology Corner. Today I'm going to talk about the Enneagram Type 7s. So this will be an overview on their core motivations, just their general story, who they are, what they look like in health and unhealth, also the subtypes and wings, the different ways that they can show up. Let's get into it. So starting out, they are in the head triad, which are the types who have the emotional struggle of anxiety or fear in some way around like feeling secure, safe, just about how things are going to turn out, and how this kind of manifests for them. They have a planning orientation of wanting to look toward positive things to bring into their life, to ensure that they're taken care of. So, a couple names for them: they are the enthusiast, they're also the entertaining optimist, so the entertainer. So that's kind of their disposition, is staying in the positive, looking for things that can fill their life up to ensure that they're gonna have a good time, that their life is gonna be full. It kind of has them wanting to avoid negative things or darker emotions. Um, yeah, kind of a fear of being trapped in something negative, something hard to deal with, that they will be bored forever kind of feeling. So that's a general picture of who they are. So starting out, looking at the core motivations, their core fear is the fear of being deprived, being trapped in emotional pain, limited or bored, missing out on something fun. That's a big part of them. Not wanting to miss out can kind of catch them a lot. Wanting to stay on the up and up of what's going on around them and to make sure that they're involved. And then their core desire is to be happy, to be fully satisfied, and to be content in their life. That's what they're somewhat chasing. That's what they're going after to fill in their own lives, to make sure that these things are covered. And then the core weakness is gluttony. And I need some water. But yeah, gluttony. One second. It's like this emptiness that is never filled by the things they go and pursue and the planning. The weakness is that emptiness kind of is still there. So it kind of keeps them running for something new, something to fill that void. So I'm looking at a lot of my notes from my certification. So gluttony, they have defined it as feeling a great emptiness inside and having an insatiable desire to fill yourself up with experiences and stimulation in hopes of feeling completely satisfied and content. And then the core longing, which is the message that their heart is longing to hear, that would be the solution to kind of the life dilemma. If they believed and knew this truth, if their heart knew it, it would set them free. And that message is, you will be taken care of. So this speaks to the childhood experience of feeling that their needs aren't going to be taken care of, and how the coping strategy of the 7 kind of manifests. It's taking the matters into your own hands and making sure that that's covered. So it creates kind of an independence, leading them into planning, dealing with the anxiety and the fear of being entrapped in something negative, not having what they need, not being happy, not being satisfied. It leads them into gluttony. But the saving message is, you will be taken care of. When their heart knows that, it begins to set them free. To live at peace and not be driven by the fear, causing them to look for happy things. In health, this type will always be a very joyous, adventurous, seeking out the good, the wonder in life, seeing the beauty in things, but there's more of a contentment that eases the gluttony tendency. Let's see. The superego message, this is what they believe in their coping strategy that's kind of true for them, leading them along, is you are good and okay if you get what you need. Again, that's the self-responsibility of going get it. And a bit more on the gluttony. Another definition is a desire to experience more of everything pleasurable, wanting what is exciting, interesting, what feels good, craves life experiences that keep them high, feeling a great emptiness inside, and having an insatiable desire to fill yourself up. I said that earlier, but then the ego fixation, that is planning. I mentioned it before, but this is more of a fixation of mind. How they accomplish this is through planning. So gluttony and planning go together, and their mind lives in the future because of this. So using excessive optimism, planning, and self-inflation to avoid the pain of substantial issues or problems. So the focus is always on the future. And type quotes, these are things that a 7 might say in various places of health. More is better. I still haven't figured out what I want to be when I grow up. If life gives you lemons, make lemonade. I don't want to miss out. Come on, everybody. Let's get some juice going. I want to spice things up. Stay in the positive. Stirring up positivity, or just energy. Getting things moving. Why can't everyone keep up with me? I want it, and I want it now. It's not my problem. Whatever gets you through the night. The world is my oyster. So this is a very extroverted, optimistic type that is like in motion to make positive things happen, and they do it through planning. They're very in motion and assertive type. But yeah. So now getting into kind of childhood messages, I would say the lie that was true to them, that has kind of aided in the development of their type, is it's not okay to depend on anyone for anything. That was true for them at some point in their childhood. I'll read a bit more into that in a second, but that's a core thing for them. And when that's true for them, their normal desire to be happy begins to deteriorate into frenetic escapism. So the downfall of planning in this type is not being present in the experiences that they planned before, that they're now in. They're in that moment, but they're escaping that moment into the next moment and planning the next thing that would be fun, interesting. This can be the pitfall, that they're not really happy because they're not present anymore. And when they're present, they can soak up everything that's happening, and it can become like gratitude. In health, that is what happens for type 7s, that they really are just grateful, content, seeing the beauty in the little things. Because there's still this optimism, like just this sense of wonder in them. So when they are present, they can see the beauty of life itself, really. But in not such a good place, where I would say average to unhealthy is normal, or more so, this is a trait that's normal for the average and unhealthy types, is not being able to actually be present, that they escape in their mind, they escape in their imagination. They are living in the future in order to create a sense of happy. I'm looking forward to the day when this happens. And it's an avoidance of the pain, of the suffering, of the of reality, in a sense. It's a fear that you can't actually deal with it. It's a fear of being trapped in pain. Like, will this pain last forever if I let myself feel the reality of what's going on emotionally, or what's happening in these relationships, or what's bothering me in my life? It's a fear that, like, I'll just be in pain, like, and nobody wants to feel that. Like, who wants to live that way? Let's just go do something fun. Let's go find something to do. Let's get our minds off of things. Let's look at something else. It's kind of the mental space of a type 7. They can easily kind of rationalize and not catch that they're escaping the moment. Yeah. So just an encouragement. You can process it. It won't last forever. You're strong enough for it. Yeah, facing it will help you not bottle up so much stuff that it's like daunting to look at. That's what comes to mind right now. So, um, but yeah, again, just to reiterate, the thing that sets type 7 free is when you know that you will be taken care of, your needs will be met. Um, um, yeah, it's emotional needs, what you're experiencing in that moment. Uh, you can process that out, you can be heard. Um, yeah, you'll be taken care of on every level. Like that'll keep a type 7 back in the present when they know that's true. Um, there won't be that fear of entrapment with something negative. Let's see. So, yeah, it's planning the future to avoid what they fear, avoids anxiety itself. So, they might not resonate with anxiety being the core emotional issue, but how they stay out of those things is by staying in positive experiences. That's kind of driving their avoidance of anxiety. Um, so fear is showing up as being scared of their inner world. That's a better way to say it. And so, yeah, they don't like being trapped in emotional pain. They plan positive outcomes and fun to keep their mind off of it. Getting into the childhood patterns of type 7, type 7 children typically feel disconnected from the parent who is supposed to provide nurture, leaving them feeling emotionally cut off and neglected. Therefore, at an early age, they determine that they need to take care of themselves without relying on others. The message they heard or perceived from authority figures was, "You are on your own to take care of your needs." This message caused them to feel that they could not rely on others to give them what they needed, and their happiness and satisfaction was up to them. Anytime they feel an unpleasant emotion or are bored or feel deprived, these children feel compelled to distract themselves with things like toys, games, friends, TV, computers, sports, and even humor. They create a world that is full of happy thoughts and exciting adventures so they can use them to flood out their painful thoughts and feelings. Their minds are a magical wonderland with endless, amazing experiences they can imagine. The problem is that a type 7 is never fully satisfied. The more they try to fill themselves up on their own, the more empty they feel inside. This creates a constant need to find new experiences to fill them up. Um, yeah. I was kind of reading and just having my own thoughts. The solution for this is being in the present. When you're in the present of love, when you know that you're loved in the moment, when you know you'll be taken care of in the moment, um, moving into healthy relationships, whether that's a relationship with God, a relationship with people who carry light, who carry true love, that becomes a healing agent to type 7. So, where relationships exist is in the present. That's where your heart actually begins to make contact and is changed by those experiences. The experiences that you create in of your own control, where you have total control what you've planned and then executing the thing that you've planned. You do have that sense of fulfillment of that future thing, but it doesn't make contact with your heart. It then proves all the more, hey, we need to do more positive things soon, or I'll feel the stuff I don't want to deal with again, sort of place. So, yeah, finding satisfaction in the present instead of the future is where type 7 really enters into their healing. So yeah, let's see. You will be taken care of when the heart knows that. That's when it's free. Their focus of attention is on best case thinking to provide exciting stimulation and to avoid anything that brings them discomfort. Their primary perspective, type 7s resist anything that resembles pain, sadness, grief, boredom, negativity, anxiety, and emptiness, as they believe these feelings may bring them great harm. Therefore, they have perfected the art of escaping these experiences by focusing on and pursuing anything new, exciting, entertaining, stimulating, and fills them up inside with complete satisfaction. So, now let's get into a brief overview of the levels of health. So, type 7s at their best, very healthy 7s have enough faith in reality to allow themselves to have contact with the environment without attempting to make it supply them with anything. Rather than escaping from themselves into the chattering entertainment of their minds, they stay present to their experiences moment by moment. That's beautiful. Not needing the environment to give you something, to embellish it, to try to get more juice out of it. It's just seeing it for what it is, staying present to the moment, soaking up the beauty that's in it, seeing the pain that's in it, processing that, and moving through it, and just like knowing, hey, I can handle all that life gives me, all the good I can see, the pain I can process and overcome. Like, that's a beautiful, healthy 7. Being a force of rebirth. I almost see like a birth of the beauty in life, of finding joy in the hard things. I think that's what a 7 can really thrive in. Just what I'm kind of seeing as I process it. Some more on them. They let go of the belief that they require specific objects or experiences to feel fulfilled. So they're able to fully assimilate their experiences and be nourished by them. They also paradoxically achieve their basic desire to be satisfied and content, to have their needs fulfilled. And they become appreciative, ecstatic, and deeply grateful. Yeah, that's beautiful. And then on to average 7s. They begin to fear that they are missing out on other more worthwhile experiences. Thus, they become restless and interested in having more and more options available to them. They stay busy, juggling many different tasks and plans and trying to keep up with the latest trends. A perpetual, continual mental restlessness, basically. Being distracted by what is happening around them. Struggling to kind of commit to something could be a possibility. That might be more of like a MBTI trait matched with an Enneagram tendency. But this is the average place of a 7 who feels responsible to make their life interesting. So it'll always be kind of tempting looking at the other things, a fear of missing out. And then as this strategy descends even more into unhealthy 7s, they become so desperate to escape their anxiety that they fly out of control, recklessly acting out their pain, rather. Yeah. Recklessly acting out their pain rather than feeling it. Hysterical activity alternates with deep depression as they become increasingly unstable and erotic. Numb and heedless, they go to extreme lengths to suppress their pain. Yeah. So acting out on their pain, manifesting their pain, but still not dealing with the pain. Depression, just, yeah. It said that they fly out of control, recklessly acting on it. Yeah. So yeah, I can see this a lot in kind of drug culture. It's a form of escapism from pain, not wanting to see it, not wanting to deal with it. I'm fine, but I just need to medicate with the drug. And kind of getting out of control with drug addiction kind of makes me think of what this unhealthy 7 can be like. Addiction, basically. It's not the only thing. I just think it's a good picture. Once you've committed to, I'm not going to deal with that stuff, I'm going to look away from it. A way to do that is to numb out. and suppress it. So, yeah. But there's hope. There's hope for a type, for a person who finds himself in this place. And it's just beginning to believe that you can talk about it. You can process the real things that's going on underneath. You don't have to run from it. That there are safe places where you can start to deal with what's going underneath. And then you realize you don't need a drug to avoid it. And that drug could be anything. It could be shopping. It could be food. It could be traveling. It could be anything to avoid um, feeling the things you're afraid to be trapped in. So, yeah, that's the full spectrum of health. Now getting into the subtypes. So, subtypes is the instinctual variance of different core motivations. I call it a motivation, but it's an instinct. It's just an innate self-preservation instinct, a social instinct, or sexual instinct. So depending on which one is coming first, this highly affects how type 7 shows up. So there are distinct subtypes, you could call it, of our type 7s. So first, I'll start with the self-preservation subtype. I've gotten these descriptions from EnneagramProfiling.com. They're really great summaries, and I'm just going to kind of breeze through them. So the self-preservation subtype is called connection. And then I also have another chart, chosen family or group security. It's like key points for them. So self-preservation 7s, they find gluttony through meeting their own needs, through connections with people they build. Through connections with people they build alliances of friendship with. The planning is played out in the imagined security that having such a network of like-minded individuals or like-minded people provides. They create their own surrogate family within which they can have a privileged position and who promise to provide the 7 with varied and exciting input. Here's a quote. I've got loads of friends all over, some abroad, and each of them is necessary to me even if I don't see them that often. They are more practical as well than the other type 7s. They keep their nose to the wind for opportunities, for opportunities that will create advantages for them. They will not, sorry y'all, my reading's kind of winding down. They are not blind to the resources that come with certain friendships. Cheerful and friendly, they maintain a lighthearted approach to life that allows them to skip over connection with more direct experience and difficult emotions. Yeah. My brain, y'all. But yeah, just more security oriented. That is the underlying thing in all of this. So 7s find that security in relationships. This sounds kind of type 6ish a little bit, but just that self-preservation inclination makes them even more security oriented. And yeah, that's the core thing kind of driving them. Now on to the 1-to-1 or sexual subtype. Word for them is fascination and charmed, charmer. So the 1-to-1 7, they find gluttony and planning in relating to other people and in their pursuits of interest. They put magic into relationships and life experiences. They naturally put an extra spark on life and the people they relate with. Their mind races with ideas on how wonderful the person is and how they can do such wonderful things together during the initial conversation. Physical qualities that can be the source of fantasy stick out to the type 7. The 7 helps the person fit into the magical costume the 7 has created for them, and this can make some people feel rather wonderful. The 7 reciprocates by being suggestible. But as with any fascination, the fantasy element can only be held for so long. The person may be deeply shocked when, After such attention and intensity, the 7 becomes fascinated by something else and moves on. In the same way, the 7 may do something very intensely for a year or so and then move on, never to go back. So a common element with the sexual, the 1-to-1 types, it's like that intensity. So it's still going through the lens of 7s, like creating good experiences. So it's the imagination being projected on people and just like putting all their energy into one person, making that person to be this great person or giving them a role to live within. Yeah, kind of a project almost. One way to say that. Let's see. Anything else to say on them? But yeah, I just more so want to give you a picture of how this colors the 7 to show up in different ways depending on the subtype. So the social subtype is called sacrifice. Sacrifice for the group and recognition. The social type is the counter type, I believe, for type 7. So they are more like kind of type 2-ish. They can show up and be more others focused and be about the welfare of other people. A bit more than just, I've got all these alarms going off. Yeah, more than just the self. They focus on others a bit more. They don't look to themselves. But the gluttony is still there. It's like, I care for you so I can care for me, so I can meet my needs together as a group. The social instinct is focused on the collective, the community. We move as one in some sense. They see themselves as a part of the group. The sexual is more individualistic, picking out individuals that they are finding their satisfaction in. And then the self-preserving type is more about themselves the most. They're looking at their security more directly. So the social type is sacrifice. The social 7 plays out their gluttony in sharing fun and pleasure with others, continually thinking up and organizing ways in which people can enjoy life together, often with a personal, whatever that word is, aesthetic quality. They feel some virtue in going without. Yeah, often with a personal aesthetic quality, they feel some virtue in going without. The term sacrifice refers to their capacity to go without for the benefit of the group and those they care about. The social 7 lives through mental prism of abundance and pleasure they think other people are having. They often feel they have a life mission, that world suffering is their responsibility, and this can make them more serious and stressed out than the other 2 type 7s. The social 7 is very much in touch with their needs and desires. Going without or delaying pleasure is always mentally framed in a bigger pleasure principle or some future reward. A reactive social 7 is one who suddenly feels that the reward has been taken away after sacrificing themselves for a period of time. Yeah. So the strategy isn't totally working for them, but this is how they accomplish it. It's pleasure through looking to others, fulfillment at the expense of their own, and it'll pay off, is the mental space that's driving them. But still, underneath, it is gluttony, but it's masked a bit better. So it's like a counter type. It's not direct. If you looked at the 7, you might not see gluttony immediately. But yeah. So if you're trying to discern your type, just looking at what's the core motivation underneath, what's the payoff, then you can kind of see the weakness of the type. All right. So last but not least, let's get into the wings. So type 7 sits between type 8 and type 6. So our type 7 with a 6 wing, They are both in the head triad, both security-oriented types, finding it in some way. This type is called the entertainer, the 7-wing 6. And then the 7-wing 8 is called the realist. The 8 is bringing in that gut energy, that more direct, kind of confrontational energy, a little less trusting energy, more independent. The 6, you're getting more of that group oriented security in the collective. Being a part of something, staying in that safe place, safe belief systems, staying connected to the family or something like that. So more the entertainer of their community. While the 7 with the 8 is more kind of breaking through stuff, more independent in the way that this shows up. So back to some of my certification notes with your Enneagram coach. So in general, our type 7 with the 6 wing, the entertainer, they are outgoing, creative, silly, and playful, cares about what others think, and desires to enjoy experiences with them. When they're struggling, they're less focused and more revved up and scattered, desires more relationships and possessions to distract from internal anxieties. Both types are in conflict with each other. Type 7 looks for positive and stimulating experiences and freedom, while the type 6 is focused on establishing supportive relationships and aligning with trusted people. So 2 opposite energies going on within the same person. Their inspiring quality is they are committed, loyal, a faithful friend that brings a lot of fun, joy, and passion to a relationship. Let's see what else. They are more generous and tender than the realist, which is the 7 with the 8 wing. When they are struggling, the anxieties of the type 6 can cause them to be less focused. They can become fidgety, impulsive, and dive into relationships, as I mentioned earlier, kind of distract them from their fears, their anxieties, their internal experience. So that's a bit of the landscape of 6 being mixed with the 7. And onto type 7 with the 8 wing, the realist. In general, they are assertive, confident, ambitious, persistent, and tenacious with a quick mind and intense energy. They are less concerned with what others think of them. Like the 7 with a 6 wing, the 6 kind of ties them back into what does my group think, staying connected to the group. When struggling, the 7 with the 8 wing, they are more direct and demanding. They could become workaholic, adrenaline seekers, strategic in getting what they want, and aggressive with those who stand in their way. So the gluttony is now being mixed with lust. So it's going after what you want, knowing what you want, getting it, moving whatever's in the way out of the way, and approaching it more directly. So a much more independent mixture because they don't have the double anxiety mix that the 7 with the 6 wing does. This more comfortability with anger and getting to where they're going. They still, as a core 7, could be avoiding underlying things they don't want to deal with. They don't want to be trapped in, don't want to be bored. And this one's just more independent, determined in attaining what they want. Kind of mixture when you bring in the 8 energy. So yeah, these types blend better together. Having a 7 and an 8 together, they mix better. They both are aggressive types, making for an aggressive subtype that controls and demands their environment to come through for them. And they can be mistyped directly as an 8. So yeah, it's getting back to the core motivations to distinguish a 7 with the 8 wing from an 8. That core fear of being deprived, being trapped, being bored. That's how you distinguish that, to look at the core motivations. An inspiring quality of this subtype, they are confident and intense with an innovative spirit to overcome any obstacle. They Sorry, my words, my phrasing's all chopped up. They have an innovative spirit to overcome any obstacle. They don't see failure, but an opportunity to see things from a different perspective and try again. That persistence. That's really cool. This is an aggressive subtype that demands people and circumstances to satisfy their vast desires. They are assertive and ambitious. They have an intense energy. Let's see what else. They have a quick mind, persistent, tenacious. Let's see. They know how to strategize to get what they want. When they're struggling, they can be workaholics and adrenaline seekers. But overall, they are direct, demanding, and aggressive towards anything in their way. So they'll just have that energy about them. Just comparing it, 7 with the 6 wing may come off more like a charmer, people's kind of people, still filling their life with what they want, seeking out good experiences for themselves, for their people group, but their energy won't be as pointed, I would say. But type 7s in general is an assertive type. They are very extroverted, just because how direct they are with like purpose of where they're going. And I guess some final words of just health encouragement is take the time to be in safe places, to speak about your emotions, to speak about what's going on inside of you, and know that it's not forever. Know that the more you look at that and deal with that incrementally, it doesn't pile up, that it becomes something you just have to run from, that you're way out of alignment in your life. If you deal with things over time, process them, you're able to stay kind of true north and not be driven or controlled by your desire to be happy. It won't deteriorate into escapism. It'll just be, I'm happy. I love my life. I'm having a good time. And just know that your needs will be taken care of, and that there are people who will come alongside of you, that you're not alone, that you're safe, you can trust. So that's about it for this video. If you got value out of this, go and give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate your feedback. If you like coaching or help discerning your type, if you are a 7, or you just want to know, or you just want coaching along the path of being a 7, that's what I'm here for. I do life coaching, Enneagram coaching, typing on my website, typologycorner.com. Link is in the description if you want to book a free consultation with me. I'll meet with you for 25 minutes just to talk through if you've got more questions about coaching. Just if you want to get some clarity on what it is that I offer, I'd be happy to meet with you. Life coaching can be whatever you want it to be, really. If there's certain goals that you're wanting to go after, things you're wanting to overcome, if you feel stuck, if there's something you're just wanting to move through and you want some support, that's what I'm here for. Feel free to book a consultation. I'll also continue to roll out more content on the channel. I am shifting things around a little bit. I may be uploading less scheduled. I've been doing like every Wednesday. It may become like every other Wednesday, and then just kind of spontaneous videos. But guys, thank you again for watching, and I will see y'all on the next one. Have a blessed one.